and you bring in Lex Luger as this huge star. I mean, everyone knows Lex Luger's huge wrestling name, but he's going to WBF because he can't be in WWF because he couldn't wrestle, right? Because of his
Yeah,
contract at WCW ended in February and he just left. So
yeah.
basically, oh, hey, we got Lex Luger's a huge star. Hey, WrestleMania, we're adding another huge name to WWF. Oh, but he's not in WWF, he's in WBF. Weird stuff. Another kind of like swing and a miss there, 92.
One of many. I mean, the WBF in general is a very Vince thing to do. It's like I'm being investigated and like there's a lot of heat for steroids, so I'm going to launch a bodybuilding federation where they're all on
Yeah.
steroids. Of course he is, because Vince, like he's gonna fight back. You know, he's gonna aggressively fight back, and that's what he does. No one's gonna tell him no, right? He's not gonna have it. So and obviously watching bodybuilding is really boring, you know, so
Yeah.
for most people. So unless you're really into that, which obviously Vince is, and Vince thinks that if he's into it, then everyone's into it, which isn't true. And what they were trying to do by making it into the, you know, the WWF, by giving everyone gimmicks, you know, these crazy gimmicks, and it's just the bodybuilding fraternity hated it. You know, the wrestling fans couldn't care less. So who was it for? I think Bret Hart says, he's like, who's it for? Who was this supposed to be for? And
Right.
there's an audience of one, and it's Vince McMahon. And the Luger thing made a lot of sense because it was trying to cross that, you know, that divide between wrestling and bodybuilding. It's a big divide though it is. You
Yeah.
know, maybe if we've got this wrestler, then people will watch it because like Luger's involved. And which is why they also tried to get Lou Ferrigno, you know, the Incredible Hulk,
Yep.
and he was going to be part of it, and it was going to be, I think, Lou Ferrigno versus Gary Stridham. You know, it was like the big showdown, the up and coming guy and the old veteran, and like for the title and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, yeah, okay, it makes sense to kind of do this, but who cares? And then Ferrigno left because they stopped. They decided they were going to start testing people because of the steroid stuff, and he was like, I'm not having any part of that. And at which point Luger's in, but Luger came in because he was sick of WCW, you know, at that point, and he called them and said, "Look, I just want a break." And they're like, "Okay, as long as you don't wrestle, yeah, you can. We'll let you out your contract." He's like, "Okay." And then he
Right.
called Vince. He's like, "Oh, I'm out my contract, but I can't wrestle. How about I come to WBF?" And Luger's, you know, genius. He just gets to sit there working out, show up on 1 or 2 TV shows a year, and then get paid very well for it. I mean, not
Yeah.
take a bump. Clever guy. And then what obviously happened to Lex was that he had that bad bike accident, and it meant he couldn't compete at the show. So it's yet another thing going wrong. Louis getting hurt, you know, and not that he couldn't have wrestled, obviously, even if he hadn't got hurt, but it did mean the WBF was done. There was just no way. It didn't have any of its